Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you what we're going to be doing for this project. As usual, just use whatever paper you have at home. A piece of printer paper is fine. For the first step, I am going to use a Sharpie. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can just use a colored pencil, a regular pencil. Just as always, y'all, just use what you have at home. Don't go out to the store and buy anything. Because I understand that with everything going on, that's not the easiest sometimes. So we're just going to jump right in. This is going to kind of look like a little optical illusion when we're done, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. So here we go. In the middle of your paper, you're just going to draw a wavy line like this, and you want it going from one side of your paper to the other. And you do want your paper turned horizontally, so this way. So start out with a wavy line. You can make it like this kind of wavy. You can do different types of waves for the first step if you don't like that one. You can do, one that's like this, where it's got like a big wave and then some little ones. That's fine. Any kind of wavy line that you want. I think I'm going to stick with this one. After you get this part done, you want to make 7 little dots on this line, and you don't want them to be spaced evenly. So, for example, I'm going to put dot number 1 there, and you just want it to be tiny. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, as you can see, some of my dots are close together, and some of them are far apart. But I would do 7 dots. After you do your dots, you're going to come right here, and you're going to draw wavy lines going from your dot to the top of your paper. And you can make them really wavy like this. You can make them have small waves like that. Any kind of line you want. The only kind of line you don't want to do, I'll use my other paper to show you. The only type of line you don't want to do is where you do your dots, and let's say you start doing your line and you want to make some loops or something like that. That's too much. Don't do that. You want just a straight wavy line to the top of your paper. And then you're going to do the same on the bottom. So you're going to come on the bottom and do some wavy lines. Like that. So that looks pretty good to me. So at this point, we want to start making these sections look like tubes. And how we're going to do that is you're going to take your pencil, your Sharpie, or whatever tool you're using, and you're going to come in here and start making curved lines on top of each other within those sections. And I'll do this first tube for you so you can see. I find that some people with this, the more you watch someone do it and the more you practice, the better you get at it. So there's the top of the tube. And then the bottom, you'll go the opposite way with your curves. So the bottom, I'm going to go this way. Until you reach the bottom. Now, there we go. And if you mess up a little bit, it's okay because there will be a lot of lines on your paper by the time you're done. So it tends to hide mistakes pretty well. But basically, you just want to make curved lines, and you want to hug the edges of these sections here. So for instance, when I make this next line, I'll want to hug right here first and then curve it over and make sure it touches the line that you made in the last step. So this next line, I'm going to start it here. I'm going to hug along the edge of this section. Curve, curve, curve. Come over here, draw a line until it connects back to here. And just keep doing that every single time. And soon it'll look like there's a bunch of tubes getting all squished together in here. And then for the bottom, you go the opposite way. And again, right here, I don't stop my line right here. If I were you, I would trace back over this part. That way it touches the line you made in the last step. And I find that makes tubes that look a little more tubular and not so flat. So for instance, I have a really big bulbous shape right here. When you curve, you're going to want to make sure you come all the way over here and trace back until you make that line touch the line you made in the last step. So again, hug the edge, curve, hug the edge over here until you come back and touch that line you made in the last step. So I'm going to go ahead and try to quickly finish this so you can see. And as I said, the more you practice with this, I feel like the more people get it. So if the first one you make doesn't look quite right, that's okay. I would just encourage you to make another one. Because the more you practice on this, the better your lines will get and the more tubular it's going to look. And you do want to make tubes in every section. And your lines may be different than mine, and that's okay. I'm just going to do some so you guys can kind of watch and see what I'm doing. Sometimes you might have a super skinny tube like this one. That's okay. They don't all have to be huge. All right, so that's most of them. I left, for the side ones, you just kind of make like a half of a tube like that. That way it looks like it's going off your paper. Like that. And then over here the same way. You just make it go off your paper. So that one's kind of an easy one. And same on the bottom, just going the opposite way. You're just going to take that off your paper. Still make sure that you're hugging the edge. Like right there, when I had that crazy one, you want to trace over that and then curve it out. And there you have it. I'll let this one blank because I want to show you the main way I see people mess this up. The main way I see people mess this up is they'll do this. First of all, they'll make their lines really way too far apart. And then they don't curve them enough. And they don't make their lines touch. So like I said, you always want your line to touch the line you made in the last step. And as you can see, these lines don't. And that's the main mistake I see. And it just kind of makes it look not like a tube. It doesn't really add to the illusion. So make sure you curve them enough and make sure that it looks like an actual tube. All right. Now I'm going to quickly show you how I would like for you to color this. I'm going to fold away that bad part really quick. So yours will be the full paper, but don't do yours like that. That's the wrong way. But I did include some examples in the folder, or in today's folder. But basically the only requirement I have, you can color these any color you want. If you want to do each section a different color, I'm fine with that. If you want to do each tube a different color, I'm fine with that. If you like one color, I'm fine with that. But basically we are going to be practicing our shading one last time with this final exam. And you basically want to go from dark. You want the edges of each section to be super dark. So I'm bearing down with all my might right now. I'm going to make the edges super dark. And then as it gets near the middle of each section, you want to get lighter with your pencil, so lighter pressure, and leaving that middle section white. And if you continue to do that all the way down your paper, it's going to make your tubes look shiny. And if you go look at my examples, you can see what a full project like this looks like when you color it like this. But it really does add like a really neat effect to your tubes and just makes them look a little more three-dimensional and adds to that optical illusion that we're trying to achieve. And same over here, you're just going to go dark to a little bit lighter, and then you're going to leave this part in the middle white to make it look shiny. And I think that's all I have for you today. This video is a little longer than I anticipated, so I'm sorry about that. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I hope you really enjoyed my class, you guys. If you have any questions this week with finals, please let me know. I'll answer any questions you have. I'll check your grade for you. I will do it all for you. Just please let me know. Send me an email. All right.